Right, hello everyone. Now recently I saw a thread where a man asked a seemingly simple question. Ladies, why accept a man's number if you're not going to hit him up? It's so easy to say, no, I'm not comfortable or something. On the surface, it sounds like a plea for efficiency. It's framed as a request for honesty to save everyone's time. But beneath that logical surface lies a massive and dangerous disconnect between how men perceive social rejection and how women actually experience it. So today I want to talk about why just saying no isn't this simple exit strategy that men seem to think it is. I also want to talk about why some of these men seem to remain willfully ignorant about the reality. And we'll talk about the devastating price women have paid for exercising the honesty that this man claims to want. The original poster's argument relies on a premise that social interactions are a vacuum. Like, he views rejection like a business transaction. I am offering you this service, my company number, and you are declining. Simple, professional, clear. But social interactions, especially between men and women in public, are heavily weighted by power dynamics. When a man asks for a number, he's often the one initiating, often the one physically larger, and often the one setting the tone. So for a woman, on the receiving end, the priority isn't efficiency, it's exit. Safely exit. When a woman takes a number she has no intention of using, she is performing a soft rejection. It's a survival instinct designed to protect the man's ego in the moment. Because here's the secret. Most women know that a man's bruised ego is the most dangerous thing in the room. If she takes the number, the man feels successful, he walks away feeling like a winner. The interaction ends peacefully. The lie is the price of peace. Why do men act like they don't understand this? We live in an era where information about women's safety is everywhere. Yet I see threads like this on the daily. This is what we call willful ignorance. To acknowledge why women do this, men would have to acknowledge the predator in the room. Many seem to want to believe that the world is a meritocracy of nice guys. They think, well, I wouldn't get mad, so she should know she's safe with me. We don't know if you're the type of guy who would just say, oh, no worries, have a nice day, and move on. Or if you're going to be the type of guy who picks us up, slams us to the ground, and stomps on our head. Because that happened very recently. By demanding honesty, these guys are actually demanding vulnerability. They're asking women to put their lives on the line so a man doesn't have to sit there wondering why he never got a text back. It is a peak form of emotional entitlement. And to the men saying it's not that serious, you're exaggerating, we have to look at the cases. These aren't freak accidents. They are the logical conclusion of a culture that tells men they are owed an answer. Janice Talton Jackson. In 2016, Janice was 27, a mother and simply enjoying a night out in Pittsburgh. A man approached her, she said no, she was clear, she was honest, just like the thread requested them to be. He then followed her out of the bar and he shot her in the back. Her honesty didn't save her. It signaled to him that she was a challenge or a slight that needed to be corrected with violence. And Mary Unique Spears in 2014, this happened at a family gathering, somewhere you should feel very safe. A man approached her and asked for her number. She told him she was in a relationship. He became aggressive, punched her, and then shot her. She died in front of her family, all because she wouldn't give him his number. Ruth George, 2019, she was a 19-year-old student. Her no wasn't even verbal. It was the act of ignoring a catcall. She was walking to her car, minding her own business, and this man felt disrespected by her silence. He followed her to her car, he assaulted her, and then killed her. We need to talk about how we raise girls versus how we raise boys. From a young age, girls are taught that politeness is a shield. That if they throw balls at you, that they're being mean to you, that they must like you. We socialise women to be buffers for male emotions. On the flip side, we often fail to teach boys how to handle rejection with dignity. We frame pursuit as this conquest. If a girl says no in the movies, then the boy just tries harder, shows up with a boombox or follows her to the airport. We have romanticised stalking and persistence to the point where boys view no as a try harder. When a woman gives a fake number, she is navigating a minefield that society created. She is trying to find the path of the least resistance. Whenever topics like this come up, the Not All Men Brigade show up in the comments. And sure, not all men. But it's enough men that women have to assume it could be any man. When a man gets upset that a woman took their number and never called, they're prioritising their inconvenience over the woman's survival. It's a lack of empathy that is frankly staggering. So what is the solution? The man in the thread post thinks that the solution is for women to be more honest. He wants women to take the risk of being murdered so he doesn't have to wait for a text that is never coming. The real solution is for men to change the environment. If you see a man getting aggressive because a woman rejected him, call him out. So simple. Normalize the idea that a woman doesn't owe you an explanation, doesn't owe you a smile, doesn't owe you a valid reason as to why she is not interested. The reason women don't just say no is because men have made it unsafe for them to do that. The burden of change doesn't lie with the person trying to survive. It lies with the group who created the threat. The guy who wrote that thread probably thinks that he's a nice guy, and maybe he was the victim of a rude woman who ghosted him. But until he realizes that his inconvenience is a direct result of a culture of male violence, he will never understand the reality of the women he's approaching. Women aren't lying to you, they're navigating you. There is a huge difference. If you want honesty, like you say you do, then you would help to build a world where honesty doesn't get women killed. I want to hear from you in the comments. We seem to spend so much time talking about how women should reject men. But when was the last time you had a conversation, say to a younger brother, a son, a friend, about how to be a man who is safe to say no to? If you aren't helping to build those types of men, do you really have any right to complain about the silence? Anyway, I'll leave that here for now. I have so many screenshots of these kind of threads that I've got so many videos planned. So many. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like if you want, share, subscribe if you want. And I will see you in the next one. Ta-da!